Hi, my name is Mrs. Hartman. I would like to welcome you to our virtual back to school night for the fall semester of 2021. This is my 28th year of teaching. 23 of them have been in the Cocalico School District. 5 of them were before I came to Cocalico, so I am definitely considered a veteran teacher at this point, and I would just like to take a few minutes to go over my schedule for the fall semester and talk about the different classes that I have this semester. So I am actually in a part of 3 different types of classes this semester. The first one I'm going to dive into in a little bit. It is my literacy skills class, which is a learning support English class. I also, for one block, help facilitate the Resource Center, which is a place where learning support students can go for a variety of reasons during their class time. It might be that your child is coming down because they need help with a test and they need the test read to them, or they need questions explained better, or they need help formulating their answers on the test. A student might come down during their independent work time to get help with an assignment or a project or some kind of research for a project. They might need help just organizing their materials and getting their binder organized a little bit better. Or sometimes a student just needs a quiet place to work because their regular classroom gets a little bit too noisy and they need a place to focus, so they might come down during independent work time. So I do that for one block a day. And I also am in an Algebra 1 class with Mrs. Butts. She is the math teacher and gives all the instruction in algebra, and I provide support services throughout the block to both the learning support students and regular education students in whatever form they need that support. So sometimes a student might not understand something that was taught, and I can reteach it to them in a one-on-one situation. They might just need some extra help with practicing what we've learned. They might need help with organizing their binders as well. They might need help preparing for a test or taking a test. Maybe it's getting caught up on something that they missed when they were absent. Whatever the students need as a support role, I'm there to help provide them that support in that algebra class. So I definitely have a wide variety of classes for my schedule this semester, but I would like to take some time to talk a little bit more about my direct instruction English class. So as I mentioned, it is called Literacy Skills. The class was designed as the last learning support English class your child will take before they are mainstreamed into regular education English for next year. So basically, the students that are in my class have progressed far enough with their decoding skills and their reading levels. They just need to brush up on a few things before they're placed in a regular English class. So my class is basically made up of 3 separate parts. 1 would be reading, 2 would be writing, and then 3 would be our work with Mrs. Holbritter, who is our job trainer that we work with once a week, which I'll explain in a little bit. So as far as reading, my class, the majority of my class is focused on reading. We start each class with 15 minutes of reading out of their choice books. So they were asked to select a book either from our school library, my classroom library, or they were allowed to bring in a book from home. And every day, as I said, we read for 15 minutes. And throughout the semester, I increase the time that we read our choice books because I want them to see that they can increase their reading stamina. And the more that they're able to read for one length of time, the more it improves their vocabulary, comprehension, writing skills, memory. So I do it slowly, but my goal is that by the end of the semester, your child is able to read for 25 or 30 minutes at a time without stopping. We are also reading a classroom novel together. This semester, we are reading To Kill a Mockingbird. It is a more challenging book to read, so I read the book to the class as they follow along, and then we will do a variety of activities related to that book, whether it's vocabulary or different projects. But I try and tie it to the book as much as possible to make it more meaningful to them. And then we also do some nonfiction reading as well on a weekly basis. Every Friday, we read a nonfiction article off of the Newsella website. And Newsella is a site that was designed to provide more interesting nonfiction stories geared towards teenagers. So I'll pick things on a variety of topics. One week it might be a science article, another week it might be a health article, etc. But we do a short reading, and then there's some questions that follow that. And also, when we are in school for a full week, on a Monday, I will assign an article of the week that is due on Friday. That is a nonfiction article that I pick that is related to some kind of current event going on either in our community, in our state, or across the country, just as a way to help students pay more attention to what's going on in the world. So we will do that once a week as well. So that way I can tackle both fiction reading and nonfiction reading at the same time every single week. And then as far as our writing activities, 3 times a week, we work out of our journals. I will assign a journal topic. Sometimes it's related to the books that we are reading. Other times I'll just provide a random topic, and they need to respond to that in at least 5 complete sentences. So we do that 3 days a week, and then they get to pick which journal each week they would like me to grade. We also do some mini essays. I don't necessarily do 5-paragraph essays with my class, just because the majority of my students have goals that are more related to going to CTC, going to a tech school, a trade school, getting employment right after graduation. So because the number of students I see that are actually interested in going to college are minimal, I keep my essays shorter lengths. So my essays that I assign are only 2 to 3 paragraphs long. I provide them with the topics, I guide them through the paragraphs, and then they're responsible for writing them on their own. So we do about 5 or 6 of those throughout the semester. And then occasionally, depending on articles that we read or things that we're doing in class, I'll ask the students to write short summaries for me to practice those skills. And then, as I mentioned, once a week, we work with Mrs. Holbritter, who is our job trainer, and we go down there for what I like to call real life reading and writing skills, which is based off of the transition plans in your child's IEP. So we relate the reading and the writing to the things that they are going to need, as we say, in the real world after graduation. So far this semester, we've done some things with job applications and resumes, career interest surveys. We've talked about skills that you need to be a good employee and what employers are looking for. So we've talked a little bit about character education. So we're doing the reading and the writing, but we're basing it off of whatever their post-secondary goals are. And as I said, we do that once a week. So that is basically the makeup of my class, heavy on the reading. We do a little bit of writing each week, and then we work with Mrs. Holbritter once a week as well. And then lastly, I have very few classroom rules and expectations. My big one is I expect students to be on time for class. If not, I do give out tardy slips. I expect them to come prepared, whether that means they're coming with their books and their pencils and their notebooks. I also have space in my classroom that your child can leave their things here if they're afraid of forgetting them every day. But I do expect them to be ready for class every day. And then probably my 2 more important rules, I want everybody to be kind and respectful. I want this classroom to feel safe for all the students, so I don't allow any kind of bullying or making fun of other students and their answers. I want everybody to be respectful, and I want everybody to try their best. Even if their best isn't necessarily an A+, if they're giving me their best, then I'm happy with their results. My other rule, every day 1, your child is with me for focus, which is a 45-minute period at the end of the day. My rule is if the students owe me any English classwork because they didn't turn in an assignment or something isn't done yet, they have to stay with me and work on anything that they owe me because it is my focus with them. If they have all of their work turned in and they have a pass to go somewhere else, then they are allowed to leave. But that's my weekly 45-minute period with them that I can help them get caught up or answer any questions that they might have about their English classwork. And if you need anything or you have any questions from me, I have the school's phone number there that you can reach me by and my email address as well. I can respond pretty quickly most days to email. It might take me a little bit longer to respond by phone, but I will get back to you within a day's time if you have any questions about anything. But we are off to a really good semester so far. Classes have been great, and hopefully next semester we can do this in person. Thank you so much for attending Virtual Back to School Night.